going, everybody? We finally made it together.
It's been tough
to do this, to start this whole thing, and we just this is all based upon the blue collar weekend warrior. I mean, not just only a hunting podcast or outdoors podcast. We're gonna cover quite a few things. And then we have lots of topics to cover, and would like your guys' output on that too.
Which I brought one for this podcast too, and we'll get to that in a little bit. Josh kind of opened up talking what it's going to be about, and he's very correct. We're both blue collar. He owns his own business, does all the work he possibly can, landscaping, mowing, you name it, he's out there. I crush rock for a company that does asphalt and road work. We work anywhere from 50 to 70, 80 hours a week. Hunt when we get time, play when we get time. That's why getting to finally be able to do this has been a struggle. We've been talking about it for months and
almost a year.
Almost a year, and here we are finally getting to do it. So I'm pretty excited. Should be a good time, and I really hope we can get some of you who want to continuously follow along and actually interact with us.
We have some goals that we'd like to meet.
Big goals.
Another thing, they are big goals, but it's better to have big goals than nothing. So, and one of them is our YouTube subscribers. We're going to strive for, it's going to be tough, but we're going to strive to get out the content and put out good content. And we're going to strive for 1,000 subscribers to YouTube.
First goal to get us there.
By spring.
Not to interrupt you, but first goal to get us there, we talked about doing at least a weekly podcast. As long as we can get time to make this happen.
Yep.
It's not a long drive for me from work, and it's not a long drive if he's got to come to me. We can make it work anywhere. We can do an outdoor podcast. We don't care. We're going to do what we can to cater to you guys. And if you come up with any questions, please send us. We will definitely talk about what we can, where our knowledge is concerned, see if we can help in some way. And please, if we're saying something that maybe we're wrong on something and you've got helpful tips, let us know. That's kind of why we want to do this, so we can go back and forth, create our own community amongst the already vast hunting scene and filming scene. We want to do things 100%. Different though. A lot of guys talk about wanting interaction, but it seems like nobody wants to interact unless it's in a negative way. So let's create positivity.
Yeah, we gotta have it, because they're trying to, this world we live in, they're trying to take our hunting, our fishing, our land, they're trying to take everything away from us. And I don't understand why hunters gotta hate on hunters. We all do stuff different. We don't do anything alike. And that's one thing that this podcast, I truly wanna portray, is that the right word? That we're all different, man. What I do isn't what he does. What he does isn't what I do. What I do isn't what Stephen Ranella does. Okay? We're not. We're everyone is different. We all learn differently. We all hunt differently, fish differently. There's some things that we all do similar, but it's just positivity. I mean, we're not going to get into the negative nonsense. So
which, don't get us wrong, we'll have our opinions. We might have something that we bring up, like, not trying to be negative, but I came across this new veining or fletching idea for arrows the other day. I didn't think it's going to work. I shot it. I didn't like it. Blah, 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 that kind of thing. It's not negative. We just want to give feedback. We want to give our opinions on something. My name is Ty Clark. I am Josh's newest partner. We've been working on this for about a year. Josh created this board, UNTAMED, and I strongly believe in it. I think he's got a great vision and a great plan. And what he said earlier is spot on. He wants to portray that no one is alike. No one is the same. Correction, not that no one's alike. We're not the same. And with that, we learned that here just a few weeks ago. We went and hunted, and he's a very silent caller. I like to communicate. We were able to put that together and actually create a couple of decent opportunities that obviously failed. I don't get to talk about killing elk this year right now, not for archery.
Nothing's a fail.
We learned a lot. So yeah, failed to get the kill. However, I think the learning lessons that I was able to take away from it, and even Josh has been out hunting for a long time. 100% successful trip. We were up there for, what, 5 days?
5 days.
5 days, got cut short.
I was there for 6, but...
I found what it's like to hit that lowest point where you're just like, I need to reset, I need to go home. Never felt that in hunting before.
You did find it. I knew you did too. It was
done.
silent morning.
I was done. Then it all came down to I walked out on a point to just do some glass, and I went a little bit farther every couple minutes just to look up in these different pockets of trees. And before I knew it, I was about 500 yards from the pickup, and I didn't have my bow. And just kind of playing to see if I can get anything to communicate, I started playing with my cow call. Well, lo and behold, had a cow come walking out. She came right in front of me at 40 yards. I chirped, and she stopped, and I didn't have my bow with me. Like, that was the last straw. I'd had a couple highs, like big highs prior to this, and I wasn't expecting anything, and this just pushed me through it. Like, it pushed me to the bottom, and I was like, I gotta go home and reset. It put a really bad taste in my mouth for that day, and really made me struggle. I head home that night. It wasn't to give up, just a reset. Yeah. So everybody's got to learn a lesson some way, shape, or form, but don't walk away without your bow or your rifle. That's what I will give you on that one.
Yeah, you learn now and you'll never do it again.
I will never make that mistake again.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We just can't thank all of you enough to be here and support what we're doing, and hope you guys enjoy it. And I know the quality's kind of half-ass as of now, but it will get better.
Absolutely.
And we are going to do a lot more of these kind of out, whether we're out shooting bows or shooting the rifles, sighting them in, just talking. It's not going to just be stuck in the living room here, or I would really like to have a 100% podcast room that we could do something in, but
we got that set up. We just got to get it put together.
So I guess we could start doing it in the camper.
Camper'd be good. That's where we spend all our time when we're not hunting. we can put on a camp cook on a little pit boss. I don't care.
But that's another thing too. So I hope you guys subscribe to the Born Untamed channel. This will, once we can produce it enough and get it well enough, I do have all plans on putting it on Apple and or iTunes, I think it's called, and Spotify.
It's gonna take us time to get there, but we'll do it.
It's gonna take time, but it'll get there, and we just gotta keep growing it. So, anyways, I just want to welcome all you to On the Trail with Josh and Ty, and
thank you for being here. Thank you for being here.
What's our topic today?
You know, I had a really odd incident happen today. I was, I got here before Josh, so I did some shooting with my bow, and he's got a deer where I stopped at it with 85.5 yards. So I took a first shot at it, and I missed left, which I'm torquing my bow. Comes down to my setup, because my bow is dialed, and I definitely checked it afterwards to make sure everything was still hitting where I needed to, because obviously archery's not over. Still got a couple more days I gotta hunt. But I had a mishap that I've never seen happen. I don't think you've seen it happen, and I don't know a lot of people who may have seen it happen.
I've seen the fronts do it.
I've seen the fronts for sure.
I've never seen.
I missed straight. My arrow literally went right past my target and hit straight in the hillside, but broke the back. Anybody ever seen that? And my my conclusion on this, aside from it being really odd, is, I've got kids. I got a family of 4 kids. Maybe I left my bow out somewhere and one of the kids bumped it and there was a weak spot that I didn't see because maybe they kicked it and it fractured the arrow, or maybe something, as Josh said, something manufacturing and there was a bubble in the process. Who knows? I mean, I've shot these arrows quite a bit. I would think at that point it would have happened already, but freak accidents happen.
Yeah, and they're shooting, those are gold tip.
Gold tip airstrikes. They're
airstrikes.
300 spline, and they are weighing in at 487 grains, 487.5 on average.
Yep.
So, I mean, they're
And you're pulling 79 pounds?
78. Probably a little lower right now. I need to get my bow tuned, but I've been on average 78. I shoot the phase 4 from Matthews. So I had them twisted up with 75-pound mods and still on the stock zebra strings. So being able to carry that, I've got pretty good energy. I think I was at what did we come up with? It was like a 15%.
Yeah, 14.7. So
14.7,
yeah.
Like 97 for kinetic energy.
Yeah,
I mean,
so like she's like 14.7, FOC, which if you don't know what that is, that's front of center. And you get you get a lot of people saying different things about FOC, but I'm a huge believer in carrying weight through and penetration. So,
I mean, all my weights right
yeah.
there. There's a little bit of front punch. But no, neither of us had seen this, so I showed him. I was like, "What do you think?" And we decided we'd bring it to the podcast. This is our first real topic. It's new. I mean, these arrows are not weak. This gold tip airstrike has been, to say the least, outstanding. Honestly, they're straight. They are.
Oh, they shoot good.
They're
it's 5mm too, isn't it?
Yeah. Not quite that micro, but I mean they're good and stiff for a 300 grain. You can really feel where the spine's at in these, so getting the spinal line is actually not hard at all. But if any of you at all have had this happen, chime in, please. Throw us a comment.
Yeah, kind of give us an idea. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but I mean it's 100%.
If it wasn't for my wrap and my veins on there, it wouldn't be on there.
Wouldn't be on there. I wouldn't have found it.
I walked up and I was like, what in the hell is this? But no, it just shows that no matter what you do, for example, I shot left. My first thought is my bow out? So I shot another shot and I was still a little left, but not as far. Before you draw that bow, check your peak. Make sure if you have to make adjustments to that before you draw, put a little weight on your release and then twist your peep so it's gonna be straight. Make your double checks before you pull that string back. If that would have happened to me when I was out hunting, I'd be walking away without a deer. Or if the second one would have happened when I was hunting, it would have been probably right behind the throat and might have missed the jugular. Who knows? I'm shooting the severs, 1.5 inches. So I mean, yeah, they'd open up, gotten a good wide cut, but it's not an ethical shot. I didn't know where I was at. Stretch out my comfort zone.
Comes to arrows and comes to shooting archery, comes to shooting rifles. I am a huge fan of shooting distance. Not so much at animals, but I mean, I practice coming into this season with everything that went down this year and as little motivation as I had this year.
Yeah, you were pretty hard on yourself this year. You had a tough one.
It was tough, but it's all right. I shot 75% of my shots were probably over 100 yards.
Yeah.
Coming into the season anyways, and that's, so I mean I shoot 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and then I'll check my floaters, or my floater out to 80, but I prefer to practice at 100 to 145 yards.
I can tell you, I couldn't keep up with that 120 yards that day out here because that dude can dial it right up, and he was shooting dead nuts, and I was.
With wind.
Yeah, with wind, a good crosswind, probably about a 12-mile-an-hour crosswind.
Yeah.
And you might not think that's a lot if you're not an archery hunter or shoot archery in general. 12-mile-an-hour wind at 120 yards with a rifle, that ain't nothing.
Mm-mm.
You throw an arrow out there at a 12-mile-an-hour wind, 120 yards, that's a lot of drift. Your target might be here, but you're aiming clear over here, and it was a left to right wind.
Yeah.
You could see the good hook in that arrow too. It was pretty gnarly. I stood behind Josh, but
it's kind of fun to watch that.
It really is. It really is. I'd never played that far before that day, so seeing really what it takes, knowing that I only have a 7-pin fixed. I've been 20 to 90 or 20 to 80, excuse me, this whole time. Which if I don't,
you went to 90 a time or two.
I did play at 90, but I mean my pins, they're dialed 20 to 80.
Yeah.
I should have done 30 to 90. It would give me a little more play for practicing. I will not shoot that far at an animal, I can tell you that right now. My comfort zone is within 60, and preferably 40 or less, 20 or less. That's the goal. But a lot of people talk about ethics. This is just a quick touch on a topic that I would like to have a whole podcast on, is ethics. You see these guys that they'll video their elk and
Might be a 5 or 6
mule deer.
episode.
It might be. But you see elk, mule deer, whitetail, antelope. You hear guys all the time talk about, man, I took a 120 yard poke and dropped that thing. Well, what if you had just nicked it? What if you spine shot it, but still couldn't get to it? I mean, you're leaving that animal out there. There's so many variables in that distance, like so many variables. It's like taking a shot at 1,750 yards. I know, and if you end up watching this video, you're gonna know exactly who I'm talking about if you're here. 1,750 yard shot, headshot on an antelope with a rifle. Good friend of mine. He is the Antelope King, I think is what they call him here in Billings, Montana. To me, I would never do that. If you're comfortable, make your choices, but to the average Joe that doesn't play these long games, don't make those second guess at unethical shots. Which we're gonna have a comparison video on testing as well. I'm gonna buy the Arizona Archery Easy Fletch, preferably the mini left, because we both shoot. Our bows both rotate left, so we're gonna go with the left. We're gonna force that left rotation. Yes, I was one of those who questioned the broadhead spinning out, but the difference in accuracy that I saw from right to left, I'm going to stick with left. Josh definitely pushed me on that one to make me think, like, okay, is it really going to have that kind of reaction? Then we started testing broadheads. I think I name dropped it earlier. I'm shooting the Sever 1.5 and I don't plan on changing from them next year. I'm going to shoot these same ones that I have, unless you want them back. Because, you know, Josh is awesome like that and gives stuff up.
I'll buy some if I want them again.
But I really want to see what they can do. And with that, we did broadhead, obviously broadhead tuning, you have to. Yeah. But they shot, you know, my field point was, let's say this is your target, my field point was here. First shot without tuning, my Sever was here. I didn't change for that. It stayed right there for 70 yards. That's what I want to play with. So
and our goal is to kill at 40 or closer.
Exactly. You know, back to what I was trying to get to though. He's always had the Bitzenberger. You know, I built these arrows on his bits.
I love the Bitzenberger.
I want to try one of those quick fletches just to see, because they put a heavy helical. They put what I've been after, and he ended up playing with a heavier helical after I made mine. We've played with 4 fletch.
I went back to about a 2 degree, 3 degree though.
Did you?
Yeah.
Backed it off just a little bit.
Yeah.
You like it?
I do.
It gives me something I gotta try next year then, or this year. I don't care when it is. We'll play.
And I seen a difference at distance.
Did you?
With the with like a 5% helical. I started to get the parachute effect on the end.
Did you? So I haven't been able to shoot far enough to really be able to play and actually see that. The most I've been able to do to play with you on long range is actually getting myself.
Hi everybody, I just want to say thank you for watching the first episode of On the Trail with Ty and Josh. Please subscribe to the Born Untamed channel. We lost some footage, so it kind of ended abruptly, but there'll be plenty more coming. So anyways, get in the comments and give us some topics, and we'll see you guys soon. Thank you very much.